Welcome to a unique archery event, the Bowhunter Games, a fun event that combines competition, having fun with your friends and your bow and arrows, vendor experience, great food, and so much more. We have been here shooting for fun and competition for a couple of days, and now we are on the precipice of crowning a champion who's going to win $40,000 in the women's category and $60,000 in the open category. Welcome, everyone, to my broadcast booth. I'm sitting here on site right now. It is a very warm day. The sun is shining, and there is a slight breeze, which is going to affect things. Let's welcome in the second member of our broadcast team, all the way from his place in Georgia. It's Travis T-Bone Turner. What's up, T-Bone?
Oh, thank you, Greg. Man, I am so excited. I'm ready to get these arrows flying and see who's going to come home with a huge purse for this tournament.
Yeah, it's going to be super fun. And if you're just finding out about Bowhunter Games, well, we had a chance to sit down and talk with the creator of Bowhunter Games, Josh Grine, who's going to explain more.
We are at the 2026 Bowhunter Games, first ever event of its kind in Clarksville, Tennessee, more specifically at Pine Ridge Farm. We've had over 15 ranges of fun shooting, so people can come out, they can pay, shoot the entire weekend. And we've also had a money class, the highest payout in 3D archery. We got $60,000 on the line for first place in men's, $40,000 on the line for the women's class. We're about to kick off the finals. It's a very unique final setting, new format, new broadcast style. Stay tuned for the Bowhunter Games at Pine Ridge Farm, Clarksville, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah, we are so excited to be here and to find out who is going to take home the big dollars. It's been on the lips of a lot of archers. Now, the thing that's unique about this tournament is it's open to anybody to register. So there are a ton of archers that showed up that were from the competition side of things, but also plenty that had never competed before and were, well, they typically say, I'm a bow hunter, I've never competed. And they gave it a go on the competitive range. Then after that, they went out and got to shoot a bunch of different ranges around here. But let's take a look at the women's money category and how they ranked. Because after 2 days of competition, we had 60 targets per day, and the most amount of points that you can score, 30 a day, is 840 points. So when we look at that top 10, it's Rendon Brooks out of Texas who was able to shoot 627 points, the only one in the women's money category to break the 600. So once again, the top score possibly that you could shoot, 840 points. Why? Because the 14 on these animal targets was in play the entire time along with the 12 ring. So if you shot 60 of the 14s, which of course no one can do, that is a massive, massive thing. But Isabel Geisbrüller in second place, Erin McGlattery, Caitlin Bordwell, Paige Pierce, Cara Kelly, Tanya Gelantine, Nadja Profit, and Kaylee Geisbuehler, along with Olivia Dean, your top 10 to compete for the money. Now, we had a chance earlier this morning to talk to our top 2 about their event.
My experience at Bowhunter Games so far has been amazing. I've really enjoyed this tournament format. I love shooting a bowhunter setup and just love a little bit different style of competition. Winning this tournament would mean so much to me in the fact that it is a very recognizable tournament, and I love the sport and I love the thrill of competition. I really strive to be my best, and I think this tournament is a great representation of your skills and preparation.
It really just depends on what the girls in front of me end up doing. If I can play it more safe and just go for like the top of the 12 and shoot center 10, but if they're going for 14s, I'll go for 14s too.
And it is quite a big lead right now for Rendon Brooks. Here's an overview of the 5 targets that we're going to shoot. Now, distances of these targets are varying, but in this tournament, you're allowed to break out the rangefinder and just hit it to determine what's going to happen. We're going to bring out 10th and 9th first in a qualification, and they're going to start going through this entire field. And yeah, that's from a dock, and that is going to this gator. Can you imagine that? That thing is so small from that dock, but it's going to be impressive as our final target for these competitors. Wow. Can't wait to get things rolling right now. All right, so now these archers who are in the 10th and 9th place positions, you're looking at Kaylee Geisbuehler in the 9th position, Olivia Dean, the other archer. They're having a go at the range finders, and they're going to check the distance and start setting their sight. So, T-Bone, the thing is what we had going on is the competition was down in the bottom of a hill, just tons and tons of trees. There was no wind to speak of. Now we're up on top of this plateau, and the wind is now ripping from left to right. And on top of that, T-Bone, everybody was shooting uphill for the most part. Everything that was done in the qualification round part of this, now everybody's got to shoot downhill. How much stress does that put on you?
Oh, it's just like a bow hunting scenario, actually. So you're having to contend with everything, whether it's the wind, the heat, the bright light, the shadows, and everything. But she's fixing to let it rip.
Let's see the first shot. You can hear foam hit.
Hey, she went for the 14.
Yeah, and it's a good target to do that on. And of course, if you're behind, like Kaylee Geisbuehler is, 578 to 627, who leads the way. Olivia Dean, an outstanding shooter in her own right, massive resume. A lot of these shooters, this is a unique format that we have had. The 60 arrows, the uphill shots, there's been some incredible angles to be cut. If you don't have a third axis in this one, you're on the struggle bus. So she sends it.
Looks like she went for a 12. Good shot, good way to start. They got a long ways to climb, but you know what? They have nothing to lose, so let them rip.
All right, so the archers are going to head down to the target. They're going to score it. T-Bone, I mentioned third axis. What am I talking about when I say that?
Yeah, third axis is where you want to be level for when you're shooting uphill and downhill, because your sight has to be level 360 degrees, so that if you're not always shooting on a football field flat as a flitter, you got to be able to make sure that your sight is leveled to where it gives you the appropriate levelness for shooting uphill. Otherwise, if it's off, it'll cause you to shoot way out left and right. So it's really critical in long distance and target shooting to make sure that your third axis is spot on.
All right, so we're looking at those arrows. And of course, we do have range officials that are down there as well. Now, this unique to Bowhunter Games, the entire weekend we have had online digital scoring. You can join us at app.bowhunter.games.com and you can check out those scores. One thing about this tournament is as an example, Kaylee Geisbuehler came in at 578, Olivia Dean at 571. Those scores are cumulative and you carry them into this match. So these two shooters are now shot on target number 1. And now what's going to happen, T-Bone, is we're going to have our 7th and 8th place shooters in Nadja Profit and Tanya Galantine now move to target number 1, and these two shooters are going to move over to target number 2. So the only time, T-Bone, that we're going to have all the archers on the field of play is when these two get to our 5th target on the dock, and our 1-2 leading this tournament are going to be on target number 1. What do you think about the format?
I gotcha. I love the format. Actually, I've been following along on the app, and it just makes me so proud to know that we got those type of statistics and that people can follow along, all across the world as to what's going on and the high percentage shots and what targets are giving the archers fits and stuff. So, yeah, it's been a great format. I'm falling in love with it big time.
On the right part of your screen is Tanya Galantine, now living in Kentucky, Profit out of Texas. Now, one thing when you get on the app.bowhunter.games, you really want to sort by PPA. That's points per arrow. That's going to give you a really good indicator as we have these different archers scoring different points at the same time. So obviously, the competitors that came onto the field that are 9th and 10th, their point per arrow average is going to tell you where they are in the standings, but it's not going to be done and dusted until we get to that 5th and final target on a dock across the pond to that gator. Pretty impressive. Here's Tanya Galantine with the first arrow of target 1 for her.
She went for the 12.
All right, so trying to get some points happening. I did
that
have
white is blinding.
it is kind of blinding, yeah. So it's really hard to distinguish those rings for us. So that was on target number 2. And that was our first pairing of Olivia Dean and Kaylee Geisbuehler. Of course, for Kaylee Geisbuehler, her sister is sitting second, her twin sister, Isabel. Ooh.
Yeah,
that one's got
that's
to
right
be
on the line.
It certainly is.
And they're going for the 14. It's obvious.
So Nadja Profit going for, and that's really what you have to do at this point. I mean, Rendon Brooks has such a commanding lead coming in here. The question is, when do you start putting pressure on your competition, T-Bone?
Yeah, you're looking at a really tall ladder to climb. So you've got to go for them, especially if you feel like you got a good strong shot and the wind's not affecting you. You've got to try to. Otherwise, you're not going to move too much up that ladder. So yeah, it's real critical that they get their game going, because hey, we only got 5 targets.
Yeah, you only have 5 targets, and of course, there's $40,000 on the line for the big money. Second place, though, pays $20,000, and third place pays $10,000. That's all we're paying to here in Bowhunter Games for this season. And you can see on your leaderboard, right part of your screen, our total score. So Rendon Brooks with that 627. But if we look at the arrow average, 10.45 every time basically Rendon Brooks shot an arrow, that was the average. No one else in this category was in the 10s. Isabel Geisbuehler, a 9.97, really close, and then on through the field. So we've had 10th and 9th pair up, and they're shot off. And then we have 8th and 7th, the 2 shooters we're looking at right now. They're going to advance to target number 2. So T-Bone, you have experience in competition over your years of shooting. What's it like if you're paired up with someone like this and they're a friend of yours? I mean, do you keep the chatter low, or are you trying to talk to your friend and calm your nerves?
Well, I think there's both sides. Me personally, yeah, I'm talking it up, because I talk the horns off a billy goat. Yeah, yeah, and I'm going to have a good time with folks. So and try to ease the nerves a little bit. But yeah, there are some people that are just strictly all business, don't talk to me, and you got to honor that. There's always a courtesy amongst competitors. Where they're out there trying to do a job and do your best, and you just got to be, cordial to that person.
Now a pairing of powerhouse competitors. The amount of wins and podiums in different disciplines of archery for these two, right there looking through the rangefinder. That's Cara Kelly out of Michigan, and looking down at her sight, Paige Pierce out of California.
Yeah, those two right there have seen lots of podiums in their day. They are fine shooters.
All right, so now our initial pair of Dean and Geisbuehler move over to target number 3. Our second pair moved to target number 1. So now we're looking at Paige and Cara Kelly in the 6-7 position.
Oh, that looks kind of out in the 5 on the goat.
Yeah, that's a 66.7 yard poke on that target number 1. This one, target number 2, 44.4 yards. So things starting to move around. If you're new to our scoring system, right there, anywhere on the animal scores minimum of 5. So if you miss the target, it's a 0, but anywhere on the animal is a 5. And then we start to get into those scoring rings. The larger scoring circle, I guess you could say, or almost a circle, but larger scoring rings 8, and then as we go inside, we'll explain it a little further. Cara Kelly, good shot there. So the one thing that was unique about this, and T-Bone, you have done a lot of shooting, especially on these types of targets. Ooh, where's that one? Missed the 14 left high. Now that's a rough one. But, so you see that left arrow? That was a 14 ring is in play, but only the lower 12 in play. That was during the entire tournament. I'm curious as to what you think about that.
Yeah, I think the 12 represents where you want to be very closely aiming at a regular deer. So, that's kind of is known as the heart shot. Then you've got the 10, which is certainly in the vitals, and the 8 is also too, but you're getting on the outskirts of that. And then of course 5 is not where you want to be. But the 14, I like to categorize it as like an eagle in golf. So you know, you're going for it. It's the 3-point shot in basketball. It's the you know, the eagle in golf. You're going, you know, without a doubt that you're trying to hit that so that you can move up a lot of points and gain a lot of ground. So the 14 is an eagle, the 12 would be a birdie, the 10 would be par. You know, 10 is your friend, as they say.
Yep.
And then the 8 would be a bogey, and a 5 would be a double bogey.
So you'll see as archers continue to shoot, the leaderboard is going to change because it's based off of total score. Tanya Gelantine has 605, but Rendon Brooks hasn't even started shooting yet. So that's why I'm going to be keeping an eye on your arrow average, because your arrow average in this tournament, a lot of you 3D shooters are thinking how much up, how much down. We don't score it like that at Bowhunter Games. The total amount of points you could score during the qualification rounds, 30 arrows each day leading up to this, so on Thursday and on Friday. If you can you imagine, T-Bone, if you hit 60 14s, that's 840 points max. That would be pretty incredible.
Yeah, that would be a dream for sure. But I mean, that's what we got to strive for sure. You know, that's the great thing about archery, is that no matter how good you are, you can always get better.
That's right. And of course, for this tournament, the longest poke that we had out on the qualification fields of those 60 was an 80-yard target, about 79.8 yards. Here, target number 4, 79.3 yards. We have got a very long course. Target 1, 66.7. Target 2, 44.4. 58.3 on target 3. 79.3 on 4. And 63.4 on target 5. We haven't had anyone get to target 5 yet, but these women are rolling through it right now. All right, so there's a unique looking sight
amazing.
there.
And you know,
go ahead, T-Bone.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say, you know, these are some, you got all this money on the line, and you got all this stress, and then on top of that, you know, you're having to contend with the normal things that you would have to shoot in a shot, whether it be weather, the sun, the wind. So, you know, there's a lot of factors. And then even though you do have a laser rangefinder, I'm looking at these distances. Man, those are a poke, and then you're going to try to shoot at a 14. It can add a level of stress that I don't like to want to, or I don't want to incur.
Yeah, for sure. And like I mentioned, if you look at archers right now, the wind is coming from their left to right, and an attempt, well, we don't know there's kind of a no man's, that would be an 8. So that ring in the upper right hand corner would be a 14. Now Guys Bueller getting after it again. So right now Rendon Brooks on arrow average still leads at a 10.45. Isabel Guys Bueller at 9.97. McGladdery, Boardwell, they're in at 9.93, 9.92. Paige Pierce now up to 5th at a 9.79 average. Cara Kelly at a 9.77. Tanya Gelantine at a 9.76. Profit at a 9.63. And then Kaylee Guys Bueller down at a 9.51. So again, you're looking at the scoreboard. This is a total accumulation of what you're looking at on the scoreboard. But we started archers number 9 and 10 position on target number 1. They rotated to target 2, and then the next group came up, and then target 3. All right, so once again, if you are a 3D shooter on the regular, that upper is not a 12. It is just counted as a 10. There's no calling uppers in the middle, so that would be a score of 10. Olivia Dean, Kaylee Guys Bueller walking to the target. Paige Pierce also. So the way that the digital scoring works on Bowhunter Games, if you check out app.bowhunter.games, is you can see phones in hand as they're walking to the target. They're going to be actually inputting their scores, and that's how we get the updates. So it's been an awesome scoring system. There were some hiccups the first day, T-Bone, with range assignments. So some people decided not to come. Some people, it was raining really hard here on the first day of competition. So some people decided they weren't going to come, and that kind of started to mess around with range assignments, but our crack crew got everything sorted out, and we were able to get going. But we also ran out of daylight after the first day, and we had to shoot some of these archers the next morning early, and they stayed on the range, and they completed their 30. All right, so these are our first pairing. So you have Olivia Dean, right part of your screen. Kaylee Bueller. So they were 9th, 10th coming into this thing. They've already shot 4 targets. So now they're going to cross the top of this place. They're going to the dock. We're going to get our first look at shooters on target number 5, the dock across the pond to the gator. And there's already people moving over that way because they want to see it. And T-Bone, that gator's laying on the ground, man, and it's 63.4 yards away. That seems like a monster distance.
Yeah, they're beautiful targets. That line looks so good. But you take a look at that gator, and there's not a lot of meat up and down on that thing. So, you know, for 63 yards, you better make sure you're not shaking in your boots there to try to nail down a 14 and climb up that ladder like we've been talking about.
Yeah, and there was some chatter, too, about, hey, maybe next year we put the gator floating in the actual water, and if anybody misses it, water starts flying all over the place. So you never know. This is the first year of Bowhunter Games here in Clarksville, Tennessee. We are at Pine Ridge Farm, and it has been a spectacular couple days of shooting. And, yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff talked about on how things go. All right, so there's a look at our leaders.
Greg, $100,000 for the total purse on this thing. Can you? I just can't get over that. I keep saying it over and over in my mind.
$100,000 in purse to win, T-Bone. But if
Yeah,
you
I
look at
know.
it, yeah, so you got $40,000 for first, $20,000 and $10 on the women's side of things. So alone, just the women alone, they're sitting at $70,000 of purse money in this category. Massively impressive.
That is crazy.
All right, so Profit lining up right now.
Yeah. Another thing too is I really like the fact that, like, from all the interviews and stuff that y'all done over the few days. I mean, we've got people from all types of archery. This is their first tournament. I've seen a lot of people interviewed that this was their first tournament, and then you have seasoned 3D archers and seasoned spot archers.
Ooh, full send up high in the neck area. That's going to be a 5.
Yeah, I think I seen a little bit of a flinch there.
There's Rendon Brooks, your leader, coming in at
Yes.
627.
I would say that Rendon is probably going to go for 10s on every one of them and just play it safe. Don't back up. Just stay where you're at and let the others try to catch me.
Yeah, I think that's the play, right? Like, don't make any mistakes.
Yeah.
Go safe in the 10 ring and have your way. That's what you can do when you build a big lead in the field during the qualification rounds.
It's going to be real interesting to see what Aaron and Isabella do, being that they're behind them and, they don't want to slip any further so that they don't leave the podium. So that's going to be interesting.
There's a look at the dock. The first shot we've seen from the dock, and off it goes towards that gator. Well, that's a hard one to see with the reflections coming off the water there. But don't worry, we have people. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks like it's in the 10. I mean, I would certainly be happy on that at that far.
Yeah, T-Bone, I'm literally out in the sun looking at a TV, so you might have a couple better angles at it than I do. Aaron McGlattery, both those arrows look like they're in the 10 ring.
That's right.
Lane number 5, and it looks like that's under T-Bone. I think she missed it.
I know, gosh.
Gosh, you heard that bang too. Like that's something, we have a microphone that sits right next to that target picking up the thumps as they are, and that sounded really weird.
Yeah, like a rock or something, huh?
Mm-hmm. So let's see what they're going to do. With this, you can see archers now going down. So that's the first time in this tournament that we have had all 10 archers on the field of play at exactly the same time. Now what you'll see is that number 1 group of Rendon Brooks and Isabel Geisbueller move to target number 2. There's a look at our leading pair. So once again, yeah, the thing to note right now is I just want to make you aware of this, because if the first two, 9th and 10th place, in Olivia Dean and Kaylee Guys Bueller, they're already completed their round. So their scores are in the books. That's why if you go to app.bowhunter.games, you can sort by arrow average, and that's going to give you a really good idea of where everyone's sitting in the order for the moment before we get the final shooters to land here and score the total points that they have to score.
Yeah, and this is such a new format for all the archers as well, because a lot of these archers, like we had talked about, are from the target side of things as well as 3D, and they're used to using longer stabilizers. They're used to using glass in their lens, and this way they're constricted in using more of a bow hunter style setup where you have an 18-inch stabilizer in the front. You can use a slide sight, but it can't have any clicks in it, no lenses, no magnifying peeps, and you have to have screw-in points, and you can't use any arrow over a .246 in diameter. So it's definitely new. It's a learning curve for everybody.
And of course, Dean and Kaylee, Guys Bueller, all wrapped up for their round and their bow hunter games. Now they have to wait for the rest of the shooters. And on arrow average, unlike you're seeing on the upper right part of your screen, Rendon Brooks leads, but it looks like Aaron McGladdery has taken over second spot. And you saw Aaron in that elite jersey. So the Canadian now up to 9.94 on arrow average. We still have a lot of arrows left to shoot. But there's a look at Tanya Galantine, who has just had an amazing resume shooting archery across the board. And she is an absolute weapon behind a bow. Target number 2. So this is our leading pair of Rendon Brooks and Isabel Guys Bueller. Another look, double check to make sure your sight. T-Bone, under this pressure, how unusual would it be to forget to set your sight properly?
Oh, so embarrassing, but it can very easily happen with everything that's going on and the amount of money that we're shooting for. So, but it's part of the routine. So if these shooters have been shooting for a long period of time, they're going to be on automatic. They're out there like a robot, and they're just getting dialed in and trying to do the best that they absolutely can to get towards the top.
Yeah, I think your process when you practice very important. I know when I'm shooting like distances that are different, like field archery or this particular tournament here at Bowhunter Games, I always put it in my process to double check my numbers in my sight. Ooh, nice 12 smoked.
Yep, absolutely. Great shot.
Those are those arrow averages that you need.
There's our leader right there, Rendon
Brooks. Now up to 637 points with an arrow average of 10.44. McGladdery in second. Isabel Guys Bueller, who came in second, has slipped to third. Katie Boardwell up to fourth. Paige Pierce in fifth. We're still looking.
There's Kara Kelly.
Yeah, Kara Kelly. Target 4. What did we just see there, T-Bone?
Things were sorting right. She maybe got out of her thought process, so she decided to let down and regroup. And if the shot is going downhill, there's no need in firing a bad shot. So you want to get me mentally strong and make sure you get a good shot.
All right, Rendon Brooks on target number 2. Looks like a 10 we were talking about. Cara Kelly back at it. Sends it. Looks to be a little bit on the right side. That's going to score as an 8. Again, that big round circle there, that's 8. Inside the bigger circle actual with the 3 rings, that's going to be a 10. The lower one is 12 in play, and upper right-hand corner is the 14. So these archers that are back a little bit, I don't know, T-Bone, with the length that Bowhunter Games made this course, this is not an easy one to go gunning for 14s.
No, it's not. You're highly rewarded if you hit it, and then you hope that your competitors backslide a little bit. So it can be done, but it's going to be tough.
And once again, as T-Bone said, Paige Pierce, who is a hunter in her own right, but also shoots a ton of competitive archery, out here competing for $40,000 with no lens in the scope. And you'd be surprised how different it is for a competitive shooter to come to a tournament like this and have to park the lens and just look through. We do have the ability to either put a clarifier or a verifier in the peep sight. So here's Paige again, trying to wait for, I think, the wind to settle down, but it's getting a little bit gusty here, T-Bone. We're not quite whitecaps yet on the pond, but it's definitely ripples.
Anyone shot anything good on this? Not yet. Right with you?
Well, right with her competitor. So an 8 for Pierce.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is really awesome. And you talked about, I wanted to make a point, about Erin climbing the ladder, and she's getting right there close in second place, but she's also a fantastic taxidermist as well.
She sure is. And by the way, that was scoring on 5. And it's around the pond. So here at Bowhunter Games, they do have a UTV that they put the archers in, drive around the pond so they can get those scores in. So a couple of 8s there as we wait for all the scores to come back. There's a good look at the transportation vehicle. Something archers haven't done before very often in competition. Yeah. It would be a long way around the pond. This pond's decent size. You could see earlier that we had U.S. Army Outdoors team with their bass boat sitting out there.
Guys, a beautiful target right there, isn't it?
It sure is. We call that T-Bone. Is that a kitty cat? House cat?
Meow. Yeah, meow. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
Yeah, you don't see that one standing up stationary very, very much.
No, as far as they had it, I definitely want to call it in closer.
All right, so as scores come in, Rendon Brooks still leading this thing with a 10.44 arrow average. Isabel Geisbuehler retaking second place at a 9.97. Erin McGlattery back to third, 9.90. And Katie Boardwell, 9.86. So if you look at Boardwell, you look at Paige Pierce, they're within striking distance, possibly, of a podium appearance.
Yeah, and at this point, they got to be looking at second and third place because, I mean, honestly, it's going to take a train wreck for Rendon Brooks to fall off the top spot. But, yeah, the girls have got to be gunning for second and third spot and hoping that they get on the podium.
We'll see what happens, though, on that 5th target. We've already seen one miss today. It's definitely something that people will be talking about for years to come, how they set up the 5th and final on this one. So Tanya Galantine all wrapped up on target number 5. So we still have a couple pairs of shooters still trying to get after Rendon Brooks. In command is the Texan, still at a 10.44 arrow average. No other competitor breaking the 10-point arrow average mark at the moment. But we're winding down here for the prize of $40,000 for the win, $20,000 for second, $10,000 for third.
Wow.
Katie Boardwell.
And is there do we have contingency money with that too?
Yeah, there's some of these manufacturers, mostly on the bow front, have come out with contingency, and of course, you have a lot of different bits and bobs and pieces and parts. So, this Bowhunters game was announced relatively late in the season, and a lot of the manufacturers, especially the ones that are here as vendors, stepped up for their shooters to give some contingency. I haven't seen the list, though, T-Bone, but yeah, I'm sure that it's going to be a nice big win in our coverage here.
Yep.
Greg White, Travis T-Bone Turner bringing you the action for Bowhunter Games. Target number 4.
Ooh, that's a little high.
Mm-hmm. High.
Looks like a 5.
Oh, really? Didn't catch that 8 ring, huh?
Yeah. Yep, I don't think it did. It looked like a little stout, but it may fool me. It may grab the line, but it does look like a 5 to me. Yeah, that's the great thing about 3D archery too, Greg, is that, like in target shooting, you're trying to just hold on to what you got. And you don't want to drop points. Whereas with 3D archery, it's like if you do get a little bit behind, you do still have a chance. I mean, it may be a hard route to take, but you can climb that ladder and get some 12s and get some 14s and shoot yourself right back into the game.
McGlattery on target 4. Not happy with that shot. You can see at the release the disappointment.
I think that may be a 5 as well.
Target number 3. And you can see our leader, Rendon Brooks' first shot was up in the 8 ring. And Isabel Geisbuehler with a 10 to the lake. Paige, look at the clothing moving around, not having those usual long stabilizers in competition. 18-inch max front bar, 15-inch max sidebar if you choose. Long hold for Paige. There you go. There's the move. T-Bone, mentally, how difficult is it really to let that arrow down when you're committed to shooting it?
Yeah, you got to do it. I mean, you got to factor that in your training. You got to make sure that you're just mentally strong. And Paige knew that the shot was suffering, so she had to regroup. And you can see the girls are having a lot of fun, and I guess just laughing about it. But she's fixing to put one right in this gator. Let's just watch her just smoke it.
Okay.
Can't see no rings, but I'm thinking 12-ish maybe. Maybe a little lower.
Yeah, at least foam at this point.
Yes.
Like you're saying,
Yes.
not a lot of meat up and down in this target. Plenty left and right, but not a lot up and down. Scores coming in. Now, Cara Kelly on the dock. Now, when you're standing out on the dock, I can tell you this doesn't really look like I have any business judging targets, but it doesn't feel like it's 63.4 yards. And I can tell you right now, as Kelly pulls this bow back, a big gust of wind just came ripping through. On this side, the wind now shifts from her right to her left.
Looks like a log laying over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, time to regroup.
So, T-Bone, why would Cara actually point the bow to the ground when she was letting down?
Well, in some archery, I'm not sure how it does with ASA, but if you can reach if the bow would have went off and the arrow would have stopped in the dock, I think if you can reach your arrow, you can refire it. It doesn't count as a shot arrow. You can, like a misfire, and you can grab your arrow and you don't get a zero. You can hopefully get on the target. Come on, Cara.
Definitely got some foam there.
I can't see it though.
I think the little high is what I heard from the competitors. So scores are in. Rendon Brooks, after shooting that 8 last time, still the leader of this tournament with a 10.4 arrow average. Isabel Geisbuehler, 9.97. McGladdery still right there in podium contention. In third place, behind Paige Pierce and Cara Kelly in 4th and 5th place. But look out for Katie Bordwell, tied with Cara Kelly at the moment. So this podium not decided just yet. We still have a few arrows to shoot, but for Rendon Brooks, looking pretty solid right now. McGladdery, all done. Or is Aaron heading back down to the dock?
Yeah, no, she shouldn't be done yet.
No, she's heading to the dock. So McGladdery's going to go to target number 5 as the competitors who just shot 5 are on their way over to look at their arrows and score them. Crowd really getting big here at Bowhunter Games.
Final target.
Target number 4.
That's rough.
This is your lead group.
Almost. And almost on the bottom.
Here,
We
kitty,
were
kitty.
close.
Here, kitty, kitty.
It's crazy, T-Bone. Like the dramatic difference in what they were shooting the first 2 days and coming up onto this ridge and having just a lot of open. There's no trees to speak of up here. You're shooting downhill. I love the fact that they did this for the finals. It really tests an archer's equipment as well as how they train for this.
Yeah, it looks like the wind's giving them a little bit of fits too.
Just
Yep,
out of
that's a
that
5.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you can tell that target's messing with them a little bit. They're shooting a little bit to the left and a little bit high on that thing. So I can't help but think between the undulation of the ground and or especially the wind is affecting them.
Feels like the door is going to be open, though, for McGladdery sitting in 3rd currently and heading to the final target. So if McGladdery, who's on that dock target, capitalizes, we could see a flip-flop in the podium. But for Rendon Brooks, still in command with a 10.4 arrow average. Center 10.
Solid.
Absolutely what she needs.
Yeah, and not that she's not a great shooter. She's an absolute great shooter. But my advice to her would be to fly to Vegas in the morning and play some play some of the games out there to try to capitalize on this weekend.
So there's a look at the next two that are coming to the dock. Darren Christianberry having a chat with his shooter, Aaron McGlattery, as they're having a look around to find out what is the strategy here. And by the way, my guess is, T-Bone, that these two know that there was a miss earlier on. I mean, you're talking about the top 10 that came to compete, and there are no slouches at all. So the fact that someone at such a high skill level in the top 10 can put one on the deck, it's definitely word has gotten around.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. They have to have updates, to strategize correctly and see how they got to do. But I know this arrow means a lot to Aaron, that's for sure. Play for a lot of flights to the U.S. to get to some more tournaments.
For sure. All right, so let's take a look as these scores continue to roll in and update. Once again, app.bowhunter.games if you want to follow along. When you're there, just go to the top under where it says Women's Money Standings. You want to go to that red line and just sort by PPA. That's points per arrow, and that's really going to give you a good idea as to what is happening in this tournament, because some competitors are already done shooting and others still have some to go. Brendan Brooks still leads. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say that, they've never shot the gator target before. It's not one that's been on the courses too much, so a lot of people are not really familiar where the scoring rings are. So with it being in the shade like that, it's hard to find a shadow or just a hair, so to speak, to aim at over there.
McGlattery has slipped to 5th in the standings before that arrow at a 9.83. Paige Pierce has worked her way into 3rd overall with Cara Kelly right behind her. So things are starting to move for the final spot on the podium and that $10,000. Meanwhile, Rendon Brooks still commanding with a 10.39 arrow average. Isabel Geisbuehler at a 9.89 arrow average, and Paige Pierce at a 9.72. This is Katie Bordwell sitting on a 9.78 arrow average.
Yeah, I could not see her arrow, Aaron's arrow. I couldn't see where it hit in the target there.
Well, that's the other factor too. As you look at these archers, the sun is starting to move its way around, and it might be a little difficult. We're at 4:42 local time. It normally gets dark around 8 o'clock at night here. Sounded like good solid foam for Bordwell.
Again, I can't see it.
Yeah, the New York native kind of looks like to me maybe just above the front leg.
That's kind of what I'm seeing.
Yeah. We'll wait to get those scores in as shadows are starting to cast deeper and deeper as the sun is starting to make its way towards the horizon. We still have more shooting to come in the open category as we are starting to wind down what's happening here in the women's money class in the inaugural Bowhunter Games here in Clarksville, Tennessee. Brendan Brooks leading the way, looking for that $40,000 payoff. These archers going to head around the pond and go score their own arrows.
I'm going to say that's a chauffeur.
Oh, yeah, 100%. A good old chauffeur. A nice camo vehicle.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful place up there. I know I've enjoyed seeing all the footage from up there. Pine Ridge has got a great facility.
Yeah, this place is absolutely phenomenal, and plenty of parking. And look at the moose right there. And of course,
I've got one of those.
Oh, do you really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know what we're going to do here is this guy decides that it's a good place to rest while you're on the cell phone, telling everybody about app.bowhunter.games, and make sure you get on that app and check out these scores. But that is where we're going to have the podium, T-Bone. So after these shooters are done, there's going to be a podium. for them after the open category. So that's where they're going to come out. That's right next to my commentating position. All right. So now we'll look at where these arrows landed for these two competitors. It was kind of a cool thing, though, T-Bone, for us to work with the Army Outdoors team, and they had their boat on display, and Josh Grind just kind of made the suggestion, like, any chance we can get this boat in the water? And so we were able to do that, and it's cool to have that thing floating. And most of the day we've had somebody from the U.S. Army out there fishing. And there's
I've seen that.
Yeah, yeah, there's a good look at it. So, yeah, there's another pond next door to this, and when the owners of this property got this, they had some kids fishing, and they just kept catching fish. And then there's a party animal. Look at that. Gas bowstring, shrew. I mean, this dude came to play in archery.
he is
Roll
hydrated,
Tide.
isn't he?
Yeah. Hashtag Roll Tide.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let me reset the score for you, because, again, you're getting close to the actual points scored is what you're looking at on the upper right-hand part of your screen. But the true test at the moment is going to be the points per arrow. Brendan Brooks at a 10.39, and Isabel Geisbuehler at a 9.89. Now McGladdery back up to third place with a 9.75, with Paige Pierce in fourth, Cara Kelly in the fifth spot. So we're getting really close to figuring this thing out.
Yep, good food, good music, lots of shooting. I mean, if you can bend a string, they've got something for you at the Bowhunter games.
So T-Bone, this is it. Final target for
Yes.
the 2026 Bowhunter games.
She is looking for a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't even think she has to shoot it, does she? Nope.
Probably not. But I think the pressure right now is on Isabel Geisbuehler. Any miscue,
Yes.
and she could lose that second place currently in the standings. Now you see on points, because they haven't shot this target yet, she's good. She looks like she's third, but on the arrow average, she is actually in second on the leaderboard.
Just rock solid.
Outstanding shooting. And with that,
$40,000.
woo! How do you like that?
Golly.
That'll get you to some tournaments.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Rendon.
All right, so now, though, T-Bone, second or third place on the line. Got to hit foam right here for Geisbuehler. Foam, and wraps up second place and $20,000. And that sounds like foam was hit, and that's all she needed. They're still got to go score those arrows, but by my calculations, it's going to be Rendon Brooks with a big W of $40,000. Isabel Geisbuehler out of Washington coming in with $20,000. And it looks like Erin McGladdery able to shoot her way up to a podium finish for $10,000. They're going to head on over to the chauffeur, T-Bone. It's great, isn't it? Like you're talking about, $70,000 for the top three. What a tournament. Biggest money I've seen in archery in a long, long time.
Absolutely, and I know that they're really appreciative of that too. And it's just been a talk. I mean, within the forums and on all social media, just everybody's been talking about it, and it's a kind of a great way to end the season, you know, because everybody's, well, I mean, we'll talk about Kyle Douglas, but he killed a big mule deer just the other day. But nonetheless, I mean, everybody's getting ready for hunting, and what better way to celebrate that than a redneck outdoor pep rally and the Bowhunter games.
Can I quote you on that one? Because, you know, that's how that
yeah,
goes.
I do not have any rights to that.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, T-Bone, there's been a lot of talk there on the fun shoot side, which we have here, or also on the bow hunters that did compete for the very first time for the $60,000. A lot of those archers were saying they are here in preparation of their seasons getting going here in the next couple of weeks. For you in Georgia, when does your hunting season begin?
We start September 12th here, but you know, a lot of the, like, I think this weekend actually in Tennessee is a velvet season. So you got 3 days to velvet hunt right there in Tennessee right now. So yeah, it's quickly coming up upon us. I'm ready for the cooler weather, that's for sure.
Yeah, it feels right now, the last time I checked the temperature a few minutes ago, 99 degrees where we're sitting right now, and I'm outside with a fan blowing on me right now, T-Bone, with a little bit of mist at the same time. So again, we didn't have those kinds of temperatures when these athletes were shooting down at the bottom of the hill. And trust me, it was a steep run down the hill where they shot the both A and B lanes for the competition when they were doing the 60 arrow qualifiers over 2 days. Well,
it looked rough.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly actually walking down into there. So there's a look at the targets as now we have Rendon Brooks, the big winner. Ultimately, 665 points scored with these extra 5 arrows, but an arrow average of 10.35. Isabel Geisbuehler coming in with a 9.82 arrow average, and Erin McGlattery at a 9.75 to round out your podium. Just a couple of tenths off Paige Pierce at a 9.72, Cara Kelly at a 9.71, with Boardwell also at a 9.71, Tanya Galantine a 9.63. Lindsey Christensen, who was real close to the top 10, didn't make this shoot off, slips ahead of Nadja Prophet. And Kaylee Geisbuehler, too, down the list after the top 10. So here come the top 2, your podium contenders, now turned champion. And, of course,
I wonder if they're going to do like in golf tournaments, are they going to jump in the lake?
You got to ask Josh about that. Let's go to Josh Crane, who has our winner.
We're here with Rendon Brooks. Rendon, first annual Bowhunter Games. You are the women's champion, $40,000 check.
It feels amazing. I'm excited about this one. This one was a long-anticipated tournament, but I'm excited about it.
So you shoot a lot.
ASAs, you shoot other stuff. How does that translate to this? What'd you do differently for practice?
The only thing I did differently was time behind this specific bow and this specific setup. The same shot process from everywhere else carries over, the same attention to detail. It's just getting in the proper preparation.
That's awesome. So congratulations on that. Let's forget about archery for a minute. You are a sophomore in college.
Yes, sir.
Sophomore in college, $40,000. What are you going to do with it?
In the bank for tuition.
In the bank for tuition. Well, Rendon, congratulations. That will help with your education. We look forward to seeing you many more times in the future. Congrats.
Outstanding for the A&M sophomore. A huge win and way to wrap up the outdoor season for Rendon Brooks.
God, it's amazing.
Now, T-Bone, these are some of the highlights of some of the things we saw. You didn't get to see. She's playing right next to me, and the music is phenomenal. Paige Pierce.
That's great.
In typical style. What do you think so far about the shooting that we've seen?
I like it. I like it a lot. You can tell a lot of people put a lot of good stuff into this preparation. And, hey, we're not done yet. We've still got the men to go and even bigger purses.
Yeah, even bigger purses after the women were able to clock in 40,000, 20,000, and 10 for the podium. For the men, you're coming up 60,000 for the win, 30 for second, 15,000 for third. And we can't wait to bring you all the action from the open category.